It's Scott once again, and another video from the road. I'm driving back to Georgia from speaking up in Montana and Wyoming, and so I'm doing some of these from the road. I'm keeping one hand on the wheel and one on the phone. Eyes on the road for the most part, a glance at you here. Now I'm going to keep them on the road more. And I'm not sure if you've already seen others or if I'm doing what order I'll release them or if I'll release any of them. So who knows? But this time I want to talk about a concept that was brought up to me while I was back in Montana speaking. I had a guy come up to me at one of the schools I was speaking at, and he was a coach, a teacher and a coach there. And he had heard me speak 3 years ago at a different school that he was at then. And I had done our Proactive Coaching's The Role of Parents in Athletics presentation there, and I was going to do it at this school that he was at now. And he said to me, it was interesting. After you spoke, people were really good, and it was just a much better situation in a lot of ways. And our parents, they were trying. They were better. He said, but a number of times they would come up to either us as coaches or our athletic director and say, I know I shouldn't do this, but, and then they would do what it was that they were saying they knew they shouldn't do. And it's not like in that presentation we tell parents you can't talk to people or you can't communicate some things to coaches or athletic directors or whatever. That's not the point of that. But it's that they knew that they were supposed to, try to handle themselves in a better way and in a different way than they had in the past. And they were working on it, but they just couldn't help themselves at times with some of the things. And I get that. And the problem is they even knew it, and they still couldn't stop themselves from doing whatever it was that they were about to do. Well, it's a good point for us as coaches, though, too, because we talk to coaches on a variety of things on how to handle themselves, how to provide the best opportunity for a great experience for kids, how to build a team, how to develop trust, all kinds of things that we talk about, we write about, you name it, trying to help coaches. And yet, basically, and we're all this way, we all have our moments, there's coaches who are basically saying, all right, I've learned that, I know that's the right thing to do, but doggone it, I'm still going to do it this way right now because this is what feels best for me. And that is one of the issues that we as coaches have to address with ourselves. Am I doing this for me, or am I doing this for my kids? Is what I'm about to do going to benefit me, or is it going to benefit my kids? Now, some of them can do both, absolutely. But we need to make sure that we filter things through, what am I doing here that is best? Am I what I'm doing here best for kids? And if not, what do I need to do to change that? And I think that's a really important point that sometimes we tend to forget because we're human beings, or we don't forget, we just choose not to because at that moment, I'm going to serve myself as opposed to serve my kids better. Sometimes I think what I'm doing is serving my kids just fine. Okay, well then you're making your choice and your decision based on what you're thinking is best for kids. It's just eventually you find out, ooh, maybe that wasn't. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about knowing full well, okay, this is how I should handle this, and still handling it the other way. So anyway, interesting concept that this guy brought up about parents. But I real quickly thought, well, that's not only a parent thing, that's certainly an anybody thing, and we as coaches can do that too. So something for you to consider as you're working with your kids, working with parents, working with anybody. Who is your what you're doing and what you're saying serving? Is it serving you or serving them? And what do you need to do to make sure that you're focused on them first and foremost? Anyway, interesting idea. We'll talk to you again next time.